Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great today. I always feel like an 80s mom in this denim jacket, but I love it. You know, it kind of has that vibe. Anyway, hi, welcome back. My name is Stephanie if you guys are new here. And today we are talking about not so fun things. Today we're talking about whether or not you should become a UX designer. You watching this should become a UX designer. And okay, so how did this all come about? I went to a UX meetup, sponsored by UX Denver, I think. Met some really cool people. A lot of people there were actually students, going through like boot camps and stuff. And it just made me think, like, cause you know, they were talking to some like really seasoned designers, and I think a few of them kind of got a little bit shocked about some of the things that people were saying. And I understand, because I was on this side not that long ago, so I understand how you see UX and you have this perception of things. I'm just going to be mentioning things that I think people should think about, double think about before they decide to make the leap, spend the money, get into the boot camps and all that. Let me preface this by saying I love being a UX designer. I 100% think it's worth it. This is probably, like I mentioned before, this has been my favorite job that I've had in my adult life. Last time I loved a job so much was when I worked in the library in college, because me, libraries, books go hand in hand. You guys know this. I'm saying all this, despite all that, I love UX and I love my job, and I do think it's great for a lot of people and a lot of personalities. I think a lot of people can excel in this job, but it's not for everybody. And so I'm just here to give you the things to think about before you make the investment. Okay, first things first, which will come as a surprise to nobody, but UX is competitive right now, guys. It was competitive a year ago when I was getting into it. It's competitive now. Guys, let's just go over to LinkedIn for one hot second. We're gonna look at a UX design job and we're gonna see how many applicants there are. Okay, just went to UX designer, United States, and I picked one that was specifically UX. And UX designer, Comcast in Philly, hybrid, over 200 applicants. This was posted 3 days ago. So it is so competitive. And I've mentioned similar things before in some other videos. Like I did a video on things that I don't love about UX design, and this is not necessarily the same thing. It's just more of like things that I want people to know before they go into UX design. The competition is steep, so be ready. You might get lucky. Like one of my friends and coworkers, when she finished her boot camp in January, got a job by March. I finished my boot camp in December, got a job in July. So it varies. And I hope you're on the lucky side of things, but it is so competitive because it's getting so popular, because it's a great industry. And I think people are realizing that there's a lot that they can do with this career. So it is so competitive. I posted a video about UX portfolio mistakes. I'll put that in the cards as well. Those are the kinds of things that you guys could use to set yourself apart. If there's somebody that's got glaring mistakes in your portfolio and yours doesn't have one, then it already puts you a leg above the competition. So anything you can do to get yourself just ahead of the rest is so worth it. So it is competitive. Be prepared. Okay. The next thing I would say is the money. It's all about the money. All about Benjamins. God, that's an old reference. Okay. Raise your hand if you came across UX design because you saw get an entry-level UX design job, 6-figure starting salary. We've all seen it. We've all seen the ads. I'm not going to call out who says what, but that's kind of how they lure people in with promises of you're going to make 6 figures soon out of school. Not really the case. Unless you work for a FANG company, you're probably not going to make that. You're probably going to make anywhere from 60 to 90K. And I'm not going to put myself out here, but I am in that range. I'm on, thankfully, the higher end of that range, but I'm in that range. So don't come in here thinking you're about to be, you know, making bank, because you will eventually. And that's one thing I do really love about UX design, is that you do get to go up the ladder relatively quickly. Like I mentioned in previous videos, when I was in interior design, I think I had a salary jump in the 7 to 8 years that I was an interior designer. I had a salary jump of $30,000 in 7 years, guys. 7 years. Meanwhile, from interior design to UX, it was pretty much a $30,000 jump. So don't go into UX thinking like, oh, I'm about to make so much money, it's gonna be so easy. No. No. It's gonna take some time, but you will get there. So just, you know, be careful of the snake oil salesmen that say you're gonna be making it just like that. The next two things relate a little bit more to the actual design work you're gonna be doing. And just as I was like pulling together my notes for this video, I got a comment on a past video. It was the one where I was talking about things I wish I knew before going into UX. Shout out to Missy here, Missy Buckley. And she said, huge introvert here. Meeting fatigue was enough for me to reconsider. No one has talked about this in any other video, so thank you. Shout out to you, Missy girl. Which brings me to my next point. There are a lot of meetings. And it's hard to say because I don't know other professions and their level of meetings, but there's a lot of meetings. And actually this quarter, there's been a lot less meetings, but pretty much from when I started almost a year ago, there's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of presenting, there's a lot of having to be on because you're representing the design team. So any design questions usually get funneled through you. So whether you're talking to a developer, if you're in sprint planning, if you're in grooming, the design questions are all going to go to you, which is your role as a designer. But I think when people see UX design, you know, it's the really cool aesthetic videos where they're just like Figmaing all day and pulling color palettes and all these fun things. And that is part of the job. The realistic part of the job is that there are a lot of meetings. So if you're somebody that can't handle the screen time and just the need to always kind of constantly be ready, that can be something that's hard to do, and that's totally okay. But I just want people to understand that it's not going to be, you know, paint by numbers. It's not going to be that easy. To go hand in hand with that, the other thing I'll say is that you're not going to be designing net new things a lot of the time. It's probably pretty, not rare, but I would say it's probably like 60-40 working on things that currently exist and improving them versus something net new. I'm really lucky that I'm working on something kind of new, so that's been fun, but still a lot of it is following the design system, following the design process, using the components that we have. You're not really creating things out of thin air, so that's a little bit different. And honestly, that's a little bit different than interior design, which, you know me guys, I don't really like to give that props too many times, but in interior design, I was literally doing like whatever I wanted, whatever it was new. I could recycle old design palette, but a lot of times I was just creating something brand new every single time for a new client. So it's a little bit different in that sense when it comes to the actual design work. And the other thing I want to say is that you have to be self-motivated. Nobody's going to tell you how to design a product. Nobody's going to tell you how to design this problem, how to solve for this problem. You have to be creative, of course, but then you also have to be logical. It's not as prescriptive as like some other jobs where it's tell me exactly what to do and I'll do it. You have to self-motivate and also self-discover and like do your own research to figure out, well, which of these is the best solution and how do I create that? So it's not as prescriptive as like, go design that thing, do it exactly like this. At least it should be, because that's where the freedom comes in. But then you also have to use that logical side of your brain and kind of switch that mindset to make sure that it's actually working and actually functioning. So you have to be prepared to not always have so much direction. I think if you're a newer designer, you're probably going to have some sense of mentorship, but it's definitely a muscle that you're going to have to grow. Muscle, grow? It's definitely a muscle you're going to have to build. So everything I said, these considerations are not meant to discourage you guys at all. Not meant to discourage you guys from pursuing a career in UX. It's really just to give you a dose of reality, just because I'm seeing all these kinds of like flashy things. And when I was talking to these people, these like students that are going through their boot camp and just kind of what their opinions were on things and what they wanted to work on, I was just like, oh, do people know how it really is? And again, this is me speaking from my experience. Maybe somebody has experienced the complete opposite of everything I said, which is great, but I'm just coming in here with my little Stephanie point of view, just to kind of give you guys a sense of a little bit of reality and just what to expect. Yeah, just to highlight potential challenges and aspects that I think you guys should take a second and reflect on. But hey, I knew a lot of these things going in and I still did it, and here I am. So you know, weigh what makes the most sense for you. I think that's it for me. Check out the description box. There are some links for you guys if you're looking into boot camps and just like resources and those kinds of things if you want to learn more. I'm working on a Q&A video, so if you guys have any comments, I think I can link the post on the community page that I posted. You can drop questions in there, or you can just drop questions down in this video or any of my latest videos, and I will go through all those beautiful questions you guys have and answer them for you. Yeah. With that, guys, I think that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill around here, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay.